All right, here we go. So I know it's not lunchtime, but you guys are wondering, what is Steve doing? Why is Steve, I don't know, So anyhow, so yes, we are on. We're live. We're here. All right. I'm actually going to change the name of the show back to Lunchtime Talk with Steve. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the radio station that I'm broadcasting on now, which is over in Europe. So we're gonna go ahead and jump onto the radio station. So when you guys hear me talking, you'll know that we're talking to the people that are on the radio station. All right, bear with me because this is a little bit new for me. All right, so let me go ahead and get the station promo that I need to put on there first, because you know how you do. You gotta put the station promos on. So let's get a station promo, and then let's go ahead and run it. All right, we're connected now. All right, there we go. So we are live on Facebook, YouTube.
To advertise on this station, you can email BajanVibesRadio@hotmail.com or WhatsApp or call 1-246-264-8211, 1-246-824-1750, or +4479-3126-0044. It's that easy.
All right, so we are live. This is Roundtable Talk with Steve, and we're live here on just about every platform you could think of. So I know a lot of you guys that are not in Europe, you heard those numbers and you're like, what is all those numbers? Well, basically it is just that. It's the European numbers that you're able to reach the radio station if you wanted to advertise on the radio station. All right, so we're here, and like I said, live on Roundtable with Steve, because like I said, I'm changing the name of it. The reason why is simple. I have people that are watching from all over the world. People that are watching me from Europe, from the islands, from Hawaii. So it only makes sense, because when you think about it, it's like, okay, so if a person is watching me from Hawaii and they're hearing me say Lunchtime Talk with Steve, it's not lunchtime in Hawaii, it's breakfast. And if a person's watching me from London or from Paris or from Spain, then I'm saying Lunchtime Talk with Steve. Over there, it's not, it's dinner time. So it makes more sense to just have it as Roundtable with Steve. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the things that we're seeing in the news, some of the things that are going on. And if you guys want to jump into the conversation, by all means, go ahead and jump in. I really welcome you guys with your opinions, your comments, all these different things. If you're watching, or if you're watching, you can chat live in the chat room. If not, you can always call me, well, actually not call me, but send me a message on WhatsApp. Okay, you can hit me up on WhatsApp on my phone, which is 954-801-0429. Again, 954-801-0429. And if you are calling or are messaging from Europe or from the islands, don't forget to put the +1 before it. So you'd have to do +1 954-801-0429. For right now, go ahead and send it out to your friends, your relatives, everybody. Let them know that Steve is on. It's not a repeat. It's not a replay. It's live, and it is Roundtable Talk with Steve. All right, so let's go ahead and make that happen. In the meantime, you're going to be seeing me looking down, and that's the reason, because I am sharing it out with my friends, my relatives, with everybody, because we want to have a really good spirited conversation today. We have 3 hours, so let's make these 3 hours count, okay? 3 hours sound like a long time, but I'll tell you, it's not. The other day, I was on the air for 3 hours, and Before you knew it, the 3 hours are up. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. What do you mean the time's up? And they're like, yeah, 3 hours already. I'm like, what? That's not 3 hours. But yeah, it was. All right, so I'm actually sharing it out right here. So guys, go ahead, call your friends and everyone, let them know that I'm on, and we are gonna be chatting about everything. The first thing I want to chat about is we look at all these different things that are going on in society, and then we have to wonder what part we play in it. What's our part in some of the things that's going on? And when I say our part, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're doing something. It also means that we're not doing something. So hear me now. Let me say it again. It doesn't mean that we're doing something. It also means we are not doing something. And when I say we're not doing something, I mean, like, how many of you guys out there don't vote? That's my biggest thing. Any of you guys that know me know my biggest thing is get your behind out there and vote. Get off your butt and vote. You have time to go when it's Black Friday and they're doing these sales, and you can get a TV that you don't need because you already have a TV in every room, but you want to go out there and get another TV anyway. Why? Okay, let's go ahead and get all that taken care of. But get out and vote. Let's do these things. So I'm waiting for someone to jump in here as well. Gary's supposed to be connecting with me. So we're gonna be able to chat about a couple of different things. I'm just checking the feed to see if he's in there yet. I don't see him in here yet. But let's go ahead and see what we can get into, what kind of mischief we can get into right now, what kind of trouble, you know? Because you know how we do. We're not going to just sit here and not get into some trouble. We got to get into something. I wish I could play some music for you guys, but if I play music, then Facebook is going to cut my feed like they did the other day. And I really enjoyed playing the music, but I don't know. So anyhow, so let's go ahead and chit chat about some of the things. You know, the comment section is open. My phone is open. If you guys want to talk, if you want to send me some suggestions of what you want to talk about, go ahead and do it. Again, hit me up on WhatsApp, 954-801-0429. And also hit me up on, I see we already have a couple of people that are sending some messages on here. Harry was saying, yo, what's up, bro? Hey, what's up, Harry? How's it going, man? Talk to me. What do you want to talk about tonight? So Aura was saying, where can we help people to find out? How can we help people to find out how people without a card to vote? That's a good one right there, Aura. And I'm gonna just say this one real quick, because we have a million excuses why we don't vote, right? But we don't need a million excuses not to vote. We just need a good reason to vote. Those same people without a car, they get to the mall. They get to doctor's appointments. They get to their friend's house. They get to the club. They get to the party. They get to the barbecues. They get to the beach. They get to everywhere. I know people without a car that get places I'm going before I get there. I'm like, wait a minute. Well, how's that possible? I have a car, you don't, and you beat me there. All right. So people without a car can vote. They can get there because they get other places. See, the thing is, we have to look at the importance of it. So when people are saying, it's important or it's not important, okay, one of the things is, if it's important to you, you're going to find a way. If it's not, you're going to find an excuse. And there are a lot of people out there without a car that can find their way to wherever they want to go. Again, like I said, Black Friday, they're out there in line at 5 o'clock in the morning. All right. You don't have a car. How did you get there at 5 o'clock in the morning? You don't have a car. How are you going to get that TV that you just bought? How are you going to get it home? That's the same way you get out to vote. That's the same way you get to the voting polls. All right. I think one of the things is that we've been so quick to accept excuses from people and say, oh, well, you know, they're right. No, we need to stop that. We really have to stop the excuses, and we have to stop accepting excuses from people because, like I said, when they want to get somewhere, they very well know how to get there. They very well know how to get there when they want to get there. So yes, and that's regardless of where you are. If you're in Europe, if you're in the islands, wherever. Look at Jamaica. Jamaica just had their elections, and people without cars got out and voted because they wanted to see a change. They wanted to represent the person that they feel represent them. All right. Whether you agree with their decision or not, they voted. And that's what counts. That's all that matters. They voted. That's what we need to get out and do. We have to get out and vote. We have to. Every single time. Get out and vote. If there's an election coming up, get out and vote. We can't keep saying, oh, well, this and that. No, I don't know. And I tell people that all the time. And people are like, well, as soon as people start a thing with, oh, well, I'm like, no, I don't know. Please tell me, explain to me. So Bridget was saying, Lyft is offering free and discounted rides to the polls. Boom, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. So if you don't have a car and you sign up for a Lyft account and they're offering you the free rides or discounted rides to the poll. And I'm assuming the free rides are if it's close by, but if your voting poll is 10 miles away, I mean, come on, let's be for real. If it's 10 miles away, we can't expect Lyft is going to give everybody free miles 10, 15 miles away, which, by the way, your voting poll shouldn't be that far anyway. It's normally just a place in your neighborhood, which again allows everyone the opportunity to get out and vote because it's somewhere normally within your neighborhood, which is within walking distance. But Bridget, thank you very much for that. That's good. I like that. And she even put the link on here, lyft.com/lyftup, lyft.com/lyftu up. All right, that's good right there. You guys can see it right in the feed. So if you don't have a ride to get to the polls, check out Lyft. All right, guys, there's no excuse. There really isn't an excuse. And then we hear all the time people saying, "Oh, I couldn't vote because what? Because what?" I mean, I see people without a car all the time. They still go on their booty calls. So, I mean, let's be for real. You get that text in the morning at 1 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock at night or whatever, talking about what you're doing. You already know what that is. You already know what it is. As soon as you get that call, what you doing? Or you up? You get those calls or those text messages. And as soon as you get that text message talking about what you doing? Hey, girl, what you doing? You up? You already know what time it is. Somebody's about to slide through without a car. So if you could get to a booty call at 11 o'clock at night or at 1 o'clock in the morning without a car, you can get to a polling station without a car. The polling stations are open all day. All right. Just get up there and do it. If it's important, you'll do it. If it's not, you'll find an excuse. What y'all think about the beard? Let me know what you guys think about the beard. I'm actually trying to grow it in. So I'm letting it grow a little bit more before I go to the barber and get it all, trimmed up and everything nice. It got to grow a little bit more. And, so let me know what y'all think about the beard. All right. So again, we are live out here. We're on your social media pages, on your favorite social media pages, and also on 246 Bajan Vibes Radio, which is broadcasting out of London, England. So if you guys are, and I mean, they have people all over, they have listeners all over, but I just want to give a shout out to my listeners out in Europe. Hey, what's going on, everybody out there? I know right now in London, it's what time is it now? 11:23 in London. But you guys are up listening to me right now, so I appreciate it. I really do. And like I said, if any of you guys want to reach out to me, hit me up on WhatsApp at 954-801-0429. Again, on WhatsApp is 954-801-0429. And you can also hit me up right here in the chat room, because we are broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, Actually, I'm still on Periscope. I don't know if anybody still uses Periscope. Every once in a while, I get a couple of viewers from Periscope. So yeah, I'm still seeing some of those people coming through. I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that many people still use it, but hey, apparently they do. So I'm looking now to see what else we can chat about because, like I said, we have 3 hours to chat, and I want to use this time wisely. So I'm looking at different things that's going on. Oh, you know what's so crazy too? The other day, um, I was listening to the radio station here, and I heard Herschel Walker. He was a football player back in the day, and he had a commercial where he was actually supporting Trump. So I wanted to find out, what do you guys think of that? As far as the black football players and different people that are supporting Trump. Um, Now, yes, granted, he's no longer a football player, but he still has um, a pretty good following. And for him to actually support Trump for president, I think that would push a lot of people that were kind of undecided to do it. So, what are you guys thinking? Do you think that he should be out there supporting Trump for president, or what do you think? Because remember, these are the same people that said they didn't want to get involved when Kaepernick was kneeling for the national anthem. They didn't want to get involved. Now all of a sudden, you got him and other people that are out there being all political. So, I mean, to me, I think it's pretty hypocritical that at one point you say, no, we can't get into that. And at another point, it's like, oh, well, yeah, let's jump in because it's our civic duty. I don't know. I want to hear from you guys. Go ahead and send me a message or shoot me a WhatsApp. Again, 954-801-0429. Steve Barrow, it's on right now, and we have Roundtable Talk with Steve. So I want you guys to be part of my roundtable. I want you guys to jump in there and let me know what you think, whatever is going on. Let's make this happen, people. I'm still sharing it out to friends and relatives and to all different people. So if you find that if you see me looking down or whatever, it's because I am still sharing it with a bunch of people. All right. Let's see. Still scrolling through and sharing it. I don't want people to miss the conversation because I really want to hear as much from people as I can. I don't want you guys to feel like you don't have a voice, because you do have a voice. This is your platform to share your voice. I want to hear you. All right. So, anywho, back to what we were saying. So listening to Herschel Walker and listening to some of these people talking about, vote for Trump or whatever. And I'm thinking these are the same people that before didn't want to get involved because it was political. So my question is it that they didn't want to mess with their money before? And now the person that controls their money is telling them, hey, you got to jump in there and represent my boy or whatever. And I want to find out from you guys, what do you think? Do you think he's doing a good job? And I know a lot of you that are not even in this country have opinion about the work that he's doing, about the job that he's doing. So that's what I want to hear from you. I want to hear if you think he's doing a good job or not. Let's see. I'm also texting Gary to see what's going on. Is he jumping on or what? Because Gary's supposed to be coming on there with me, So let's find out what you guys are thinking. I don't see any more text messages. Bridget, Oral, Harry, what's going on, guys? Let me know. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Do you think Trump is doing a good job? Do you think he's not? Do you are you all for these football players, whether they're former football players or current football players or anything like that? Are you all for them jumping in now on the political bandwagon or not, since these people didn't want to jump in before? Let me know. Again, you guys can hit me up on WhatsApp at 954-801-0429. Again, if you're hitting up from Europe, then or from the islands or anything, you have to put the +1. But it's 954-801-0429. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I wish right now I could go into a song from here. Ah, man, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, man, you're killing me, man. I don't know. This is getting crazy. So anyhow, let's see. I want to hear some comments. I want to see what you guys are thinking. Shoot me a message. Let me know. Let me get a sip of water real quick. My throat's getting dry. Ah, there you go. You know how we do on live. We you know, when it's time to drink, you gotta take a sip. It's all live, so you know how we gotta do. Anyhow, so as Bridget was saying, Lyft is offering free rides and discounted rides to the polls. Now, again, I'm not saying they're all going to be free because some of you guys are like, oh, well, you know, I moved from down 20 miles away and I need a ride over there. Well, listen, yeah, you know, honestly, they're not going to give you a free ride 20 miles. You should have changed your address. All right. Earl is saying, why is it so hard to talk with my white friends about race? Ah, good question. Excellent question. Awesome question. Oral, I'll tell you something. If they're your friends, it shouldn't be hard to talk to them about race. I'm not saying that they're going to understand what you're saying 100%, but they should at least try to put themselves in your situation. And I'll tell you, I had a similar situation before where I was talking to one of my friends, a white guy, and I'm telling him about the way that the police are and stuff like that. And bear in mind now, he has a black son. And the thing is, he doesn't see it because these things never happened to him or his brother or his anyone that looks like him. So to him, it's like, well, you must have done something wrong. The black guy must have done something wrong. No. And the thing is, as I told him, like I'm going to tell you now, if you're my friend, you should start to see my side of it. You should see my side. And I don't understand what's so hard about it. Because you know what? The same friends, and like I said to him too, that you could say to your friend, if his wife or his daughter came home and said a guy at work sexually harassed her, would his first question be, what did you do wrong? You must have done something wrong. You must have been wearing the wrong skirt. You must have sent him a signal. I guarantee you he's not going to say that. He's going to be pissed that somebody sexually harassed his wife or his daughter or whoever. So the same way the sexual harassment is wrong, period, the police harassment should be wrong as well. That's just my thought on it. That's my thing. And he kind of saw the point at that, because then it's like, okay, well, yeah, I'd be upset if somebody sexually harassed my wife or my daughter. Exactly. You're not going to ask your wife and your daughter, what did they do wrong? You're never going to do that. That conversation wouldn't go too well to begin with. So the same thing, when somebody says the cop pulled me over for no reason, don't say, well, what did you do wrong? No, not what did I do wrong. Now we should be going into, wow, how could that have been handled different or whatever? And there's always a way to handle it different. But the thing is, if you want to find out the way it would have been handled different, picture if the person that was driving the car was white, because it's always a little bit different. A black guy comes up to a cop comes up to your window and he says, oh my God, he pulled you over. Do you know why I pulled you over? No. Did you do anything wrong? No. And all of a sudden, oh, you got an attitude? Wait a minute, officer, I didn't give you an attitude. It's an attitude if I just don't agree with you or if I don't tell you what you want to hear. But then the white guy comes, the white guy that gets pulled over, and he's like yelling and screaming and cursing at the cop. But no one slams him against the hood and say about an attitude, Okay, so I got someone that just texted me from London, and they said, "Hi, Steve. Good evening. Good morning." Well, I guess it's almost morning for them, or it might be morning for them. he said, listening to you from London. Speaking for myself, I know Mr. Trump is not the right person for president. One, he is running the country like a business. But you know what's so crazy, and I appreciate that. Go ahead and send me your name, because I really want to be able to just to say hi to you by name. But the crazy part is, we're looking at the things that Trump is doing now, and we're saying that he's wrong. But honestly, this is what he told us he was going to do. He told us these things. When he was running for president, he said he's going to run it like a business. He said he's going to run it just like he ran his businesses. He told us this. And he failed in his businesses. He ran them into the ground. So when he told you he was going to run this country like he ran his businesses, what did we think? He didn't run a successful business. So, and people say, well, he's rich. Yeah, he's rich. But you got to understand, there's a difference between being rich and being a successful businessman. In this country especially, you can get rich and still fail in every business you do. Because once you fail, the government will always, always, always bail you out when you do it the right way. That's why they spend more money on their accountants and their lawyers than they spend on anything else, because those are the people that set it up to make sure that the government is going to bail you out. Dr. Adrian Daisley, how are you? Good evening, sir. He's watching us from Barbados. I tell you guys, we're all over the country, all over the world. People are just watching us from all over the world right now. So this is awesome. I'm telling you, the show is just definitely growing by leaps and bounds. It's like we went from just being local and just people here locally hearing me and watching me to now people are watching me from all over. Now the person out of London, he's saying, number two, he's trying to be a dictator. You know what? I agree with you. He is trying to be a dictator. And the crazy part is he's getting away with it. He is really getting away with it. I think that the biggest thing, and if you look at people like Mussolini, Stalin, Hitler, all these different people, and I'm not saying he's them, I'm just telling you the comparison on how things go. I'm just telling you, if you study history, you'll see how things go. The first thing that dictators do is they cut the people off from credible information. And the easiest way to do that is for you to distrust the person who's giving you information. And if you ever listen to him, the first thing he says is the first thing that Trump says is fake news, fake news. Everybody's fake news. The New York Times is fake news. CNN is fake news. But wait a second. These news sources were around for years. And these are news sources that has always brought us credible news. And now just because he says it's fake news, half the country is discrediting everything they say. Fake news, fake news. So what is real news? At first he was saying Fox News is real news. And then when Fox started proving that he was wrong on some things, then all of a sudden it's, Fox is fake news too. Well, Mr. President, what is real news? I don't have anything left. You say ABC is fake, CNN is fake, NBC is fake, CBS is fake, now Fox is fake. What's real? Breitbart? Don't tell me. Yeah, Breitbart, the people that just took off their hoods and hung them up in the closet. They're the ones that's real, right? Yeah, about that. TC. So the person said their name is TC. Okay, cool. And TC is saying he need to understand that he works for the people and not the other way around. That's true, TC. But here's the problem. The people need to understand that the president works for us, because if we don't hold him accountable, then he is not going to act responsible. TC said he's watching me from PLV/246 live, which is on Beijing, right? On 246 246BeijingVibesRadio.com. So this is the radio station that I'm broadcasting on out in Europe. So if you guys are, if you're looking for good music or anything like that at any time that we're not on, that I'm not on, talking and everything, you want to listen to some of the other people, check out 246BeijingVibesRadio.com, and you can listen to it there. Gary said he's about to jump on, so I'm waiting for him to jump on now. Let's see. I sent him the link, so he's supposed to jump on. Dr. Daisley, he said, well, we have three dictators. What do you mean three dictators? Who are those three? Also a form of abuse. Yeah, and it is a form of the way that that Trump is doing things in this country. Yes, it is a form of abuse. It definitely is. There's a link, guys. If you guys, again, 246BeijingVibesRadio.com. And let me go ahead and just run a quick promo, because I want you guys to really know more about the radio station. I want you to be able to listen every once in a while, whenever you want to listen. You know what I mean? So let me let y'all hear a promo real quick. I'm putting my earbud back in so I can hear it too.
Do you think that you can present a radio show full of vibe? Do you have a bubbly personality? Are you family friendly? Do you think you can do this from the comfort of your own home to radio listeners all over the world? Why not send a short demo to BeijingVibesRadio@hotmail.com? Let's make your dreams of becoming a presenter a reality.
Yeah, if you guys want to be on the show, or if you want to have your own show, it's easy nowadays. I mean, I'm serious. You guys could there's a link right there, Beijing Vibes Radio, and let's make this happen. All right, yeah, Dr. Daisley was saying, yep, the Brazilian president, the American president, and North Korea. And you know what's so crazy is you're right. I mean, when you think about it, you're pretty much right. That's what it is. It's so crazy. I don't know. So I don't know, people. If you guys, if you have comments, you want to post a comment, you want to send me something on WhatsApp, go ahead and make it happen. Gary is about to jump on, so once he gets on, then we'll be able to talk a little bit more about some of the other things that are going on. And I know that you guys, a lot of you guys probably don't smoke cigars, but I had one earlier called The Judge, and it's really good. I mean, like, wow, it was my first time having it. So, I'm going to be trying it again a little bit later. And like I said, if any of you guys ever want to sponsor, if you want to advertise on the station, anything like that, definitely give us a buzz. Let us know. We can advertise you right here on the station. If you want to sponsor and you own, let's say, a brandy company or something, and you want to, send me some samples so I can try it along with my cigar, let me know. But if you want to advertise, this is how you do it, all right?
To advertise on this station, you can email BeijingVibesRadio@hotmail.com or WhatsApp or call 1-246-264-8211, 1-246-824-1750, or +4479-3126-0044. It's that easy.
Why are European numbers so long? I mean, seriously, it sounds like the missile launching codes or something. It's like, just give us a call at this quick number, 674-83276-8799-248-366. I'm like, what? It's so crazy. It's like you listen to it, and the numbers just kept going and going and going. But I'm telling you, it's like, to us it sounds weird, but to them, our numbers sound weird. So let's see. I'm looking to see if we can. Let's see. I'm looking for Gary to come on. Let's see. I'm looking for Gary to come on now. I don't see. Okay. So TC was asking me if the U.S. is on the verge of a race war. He just sent me that message on WhatsApp. That is a very good question. And I think the simple answer for it is we've been in a race war for years. Um, Now it's just that it's getting to the boiling point, to the tipping point. I think that the okay, so if you go as far back as the 50s, the 60s, you listen to Marvin Gaye, all these different things. What's his name? Teddy P. Listen to the Vandellas, all these different ones, and they're talking about race inequities and stuff like that in the United States, and about the gaps that they have in the United States, as far as rich, and we shouldn't say rich, it's just white and black, because here's the thing. In the and this is not just the US, this is pretty much anywhere. I mean, let's call it what it is. We're just seeing it now because a lot of people are putting it on Facebook and social media here in the United States, but we have the same issues in Europe and in the islands, Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad. I don't care where you go. And in some countries you have it a little bit different, because then you have the black fighting it, like Trinidad, the Indian, and then you got the white and all these different people, and in Jamaica it's the Chinese, and everybody have something. But no matter what country you go to, we're on the bottom of the totem pole. And the reason why we're on the bottom of the totem pole is because we weren't taught that we should actually be anywhere else but the bottom. We were on the bottom from as far back as we can remember, and as far back as our people can remember. You got to remember something. The stories that were handed down generation to generation, none of those stories that were handed down had us on the top. So whether it was black stories, white stories, or whatever, those stories were handed down, but they weren't handed down with us on the top. And that's the problem. So what we need to do is we need to change the narrative. We need to change the narrative, and what we have to do is we have to now start to put us on the top. We have to make sure that the kids are seeing us on top. The kids are seeing us as the ones that were rulers, that they're seeing us as inventors, as doctors, as lawyers, as all these different people. And when these children start to see these things, then yes, they can start to say, okay, well, now I understand. Now I see that pride. I feel that pride. But when the kids just keep seeing us as the poor person, as the drug dealer, as the one that's getting arrested, what do you think they're gonna think? They're not gonna see that pride that we want them to see. I mean, let's look at it this way. Let's be for real. Let's look at it this way. You look at people that are getting arrested. When you see Bernie Madoff get arrested, they don't blame every other white person for what Bernie Madoff did. They don't turn around and say, "Oh, well, Bernie was a crook, so everyone is a crook." They don't do that. So why is it that when one black guy gets arrested, every black person is a thug? Or when one black guy gets arrested, every black person is a drug dealer? Why? We should not accept that when a person is stereotyping and just putting it out there that we're all like that one guy that got arrested. No, we're not all like that one guy. Just like when one guy gets to win the Nobel Peace Prize, they don't say, "Oh my God, they're all brilliant." Why? Because they don't want us to think we're all brilliant. We have to start to realize, people, that we have to change the narrative. We have to teach our children what we want our children to how we want them to live, how we want them to grow. And if we keep letting other people write our story, then that's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be their story that they're telling of us, not our story. We have to start doing more. I think like an autobiography. An autobiography, you write your own story. That's you're the one with the pen. And then you have some stories where people actually tried to get someone else to write their story. Well, if you get someone else to write your story, guess what? That story is going to change. It's going to be a whole different thing than what you really want to get across. Unless you turn around now and just still tell the person, no, that's not right. Let's change that. Let's change this. Let's put this back. And now it becomes your story again because you start to interject your truth into it. But when we let other people write our story, the news, for example, and all these different people, come on. I'll tell you, I watch the news and I see a peaceful protest and they're, oh my God, they're thugs. They're burning down the city. They're doing this. They're doing that. Okay, there may be a couple of people that are in between the peaceful protests that's doing these things, but they don't stress on a peaceful protest. They stress on just the thugs that's doing these things. Now, when a basketball game or a hockey game or a football game, or in Europe you'd call football soccer, or you call soccer football, but either way, but when there's a sporting match that happens and the team wins and the white guys tear up the city, they're just happy and they're just spirited celebration and all kind of stuff like that. Now it's the same thing. They're burning down the city. They catch a building on fire. They turn cars over. They set cars on fire. They do all these things, but nobody ever calls them a thug, a criminal, or lawlessness, or looters, or any of that stuff. But as soon as we do it, that's what we're called. Why can't we call them the same thing? I told people before, I'm going to really have to change the way my show is done because I'm tired of trying not to step on people's toes. I'm tired of trying not to hurt people's feelings. Honestly, your feelings need to be hurt if you're not doing what you're supposed to. And your feelings need to be hurt if you can't see the difference in the way that the media is portraying the two. If you think that it's right that the media is portraying every black protest as a bad thing and every white riot as just spirited celebration, if you think that's right, then you're the problem. That's simple as that. You are the problem. All right. So we really have to start looking at what we have, looking at the way things are going. And come on, it's a little bit crazy. I'm actually going to look for that video that I was talking about because I saw a video before where it was a comparison of black protests versus white riots, and I'm gonna look for that, and I'm gonna just do it real quick. Let me just run a quick commercial break, which we know we normally don't, but let me see. Let's see 1 second. I'm gonna look for it while I show this quick commercial break. Give me just a moment. Let me tell you about CCTV RX. With over 30 years in the security industry here in South Florida, they have proven themselves to be the first choice when it comes to security professionals. So whether you're trying to secure your home or your business, there's no other choice. Give them a call today for a free estimate.
Would you like to be more tech savvy? Create your own compelling graphics, sales pages, and marketing tools? Would you like to effectively use social media to generate more leads? If the answer is yes, register for one or all of the 8-module digital marketing series. You will feel comfortable in a judge-free, nurturing environment as we get the work done. My name is Melissa Jane, and I am your tech trainer.
If your car could talk, it would say call Curvin's Car Detailing Service. It's mobile and they can come to you no matter where you are in Broward County. Give Curvin a call, 954-549-8507, and tell him that Steve sent you.
Baby, won't you take me there? I want some real good food to eat. I want shucking and jiving, shucking and jiving.
is what it is. Come on down to Shuck It and Jive and Cajun food with an old school groove. Our designers to get your taste palette back in line, baby. Follow us at We Shuck It.
All right, so we're back. And I found the video that I was looking for. I think this is the one right here. So let me go ahead and share it so we can play it. And let me know if you guys are hearing the audio too.
Funny how the media covers white riots versus black protests. Seems like when the protesters are black, the media uses some pretty harsh words.
The bad guys, lawlessness, looting, wild animals, criminals, and thugs.
Isn't it the right word?
However, if you're white and you're tearing up the city because of a game, you're just young people.
Young people danced on it, flipped over cars. UK fans did stupid things.
Maybe got a little out of control.
Seeing a scene like this just shows how passionate the UK fans are.
It's so tough to lose, and unfortunately the ugly side that we sometimes see in sports.
And notice how the police always show up to a black protest in military-grade equipment, and yet the media claims they're just doing nothing.
It's inexplicable why the police are doing nothing.
Let's mobilize the National Guard. If I'm a riot and I see the police doing nothing, I might feel like I have a license.
You would.
But at white riots, the cops actually are standing around doing nothing.
Another group of cops over there just standing there.
No one was really doing anything.
These guys look like they could be watching a parade. And why is it that the leadership of the black community is always called into question?
Where is the leadership? The black leadership.
The absence of leadership.
And it goes back to leadership, but that leadership has to come from the community.
But no one ever questions the leadership of white parents who let their kids burn down and vandalize the college campus.
These are just young college students who think they're playing some kind of a game with police officers.
No, sometimes they don't even call a white riot a riot.
Party gone awry.
Young fans got a bit too rowdy after the win.
Dispute, a bloody brawl.
There was some type of altercation.
Waco, 170 arrested, 9 people dead.
They're not thugs.
Baltimore, no deaths, but it's a riot, chock full of thugs.
Just us.
What if the media portrayed white rioters same as black protesters? Let's switch the audio and see how it plays out.
Breaking news, violent protest.
What you're looking at is the unraveling of the civil society.
Criminals and thugs.
And they're raising hell and they're destroying property.
These idiotic thugs, rioting and looting, are hurting their own people.
Wild animals burning buildings down.
Especially if they know the media's all there, right? Got the cameras on everyone. It's become its own reality show.
Who acts like that towards a police officer?
Think for yourself. Don't let racist media color your perceptions. Demand fairness in media coverage. Tell the media to put an end to calling black people thugs.
All right, so that's what we're talking about. Let me go ahead and close that and stop that video from playing. All right, so that's what we're talking about there. I mean, when you think about it, and we always say, I mean, honestly, I think that we help to perpetuate it because we don't stand up against it. You know, we honestly don't, and we have to stand up against it. And again, going back to the same thing, you know, we always say our white friends. Are they really your friend? I mean, come on. And I'm not saying people don't, but we can't call everybody your friend. You know, when your kid goes to elementary school, your kid start school at 5 years old. They meet someone in 5 minutes. Like, mommy, that's my friend. Daddy, that's my friend. We do the same thing. Oh, my friend, listen, if I don't come to your house, you don't come to my house, we're not friends. If we don't hang out after work, we're not friends. If I can't come to you when I have a problem, we're not friends. If I can't come and say, hey, can I borrow $20? We're not friends. Okay, so just because we happen to know each other doesn't make us friends. We may be acquaintances. So let's go back. Let's rewind back to the beginning, what we were saying, where Earl was asking about Earl was saying, why is it so hard to talk to white friends about race? Because they don't see it. I just showed you the video right here, which is something to really think about. They don't see it. They don't want to see it. They will sit there and they'll say, oh, okay, yeah, you know, we're friends and we eat lunch together and we hang out together. We go to happy hour. But that's the extent of it. After happy hour, if they get pulled over 9 times out of 10, even though they may be drunk, that cop is not going to arrest them and he's not going to give them the hard time that he's going to give you for being sober. You know, now, again, I'm not saying that all cops are bad. I am not saying that. Just like all black people aren't bad, so cops and media need to stop saying that. Okay, every black man that gets pulled over by the cop is not a bad person. Every black person that a cop sees is not a bad person. So when you already, the whole problem is when you come together and when you start to lump everyone together, that creates the problem. That in itself creates a problem. We have to start to see what other people are talking about, what other people are doing. We have to see all these different things. We have to put ourselves in that person's shoes. Let me see. I got another comment here on WhatsApp, and you guys could always hit me up on WhatsApp at 954-801-0429. All right, so that's going to be 1-954-801-0429. So the comment says, Steve, let's see, even in Cowboys and Indian, the good guy wear white, the bad guy wears black. So black is portrayed as bad, but yet still, once the sun come out, they want to get a tan. I actually did a show about that the other day. Actually, no, I didn't do a show on it. I did a comment on Facebook about people changing their complexions. You got white people that want to tan to get darker, and you have black people that are bleaching to get lighter, which is something we should talk about too. I mean, it's 8:00, so let me just do this real quick. I just got to run a station promo real quick, and we're gonna come back and talk about that too, about bleaching and stuff like that. All right? That's a good one. All right, give me a second. We'll be right back.
For those of you that are not down with this type of music, we apologize. Now, deal with it.
What's up, Steve?
What's going on?
Hey, shit, I had a lot of running around to do before I get here.
I hear you. So Gary is the host of the podcast Convicted Conversations, and he's also the author of these two books, Pillar to Post. Go ahead, show them the book, Pillar to Post, and also the one, Role Reversal. So these are actually pretty good books. Role Reversal is crazy because it talks about some of the things that are going on in today's society, where the women are actually taking the role of the man. And when I say the man, I mean the head of the household and bringing in the money and all kind of stuff. And then you got some men that aren't doing anything. They're sitting at home on the couch smoking weed, playing Nintendo or whatever, and it's like, really? So she's raising another son. You know what I'm saying? It's like she has an extra kid. She married a kid or whatever. I don't know. So Gary, one of the things we were talking about just now was the way that that the media portrays black as bad and white as right. I already see it on your face, G-Mac. So talk to me. What do you think about that?
Man, Steve, you already know how I feel when it comes to that. And I mean, we've been stereotyped and profiled our whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it should be a little bit different, you would think, because of the scanners and stuff that they have. Like, before, police just see a car, and if it had rims on it or if it looked a certain way, they'll just jump behind you. Now, with those scanners, they're able to scan thousands of tags within minutes, and they're able to know if this person has a warrant, if their tag is stolen. They know all of these things within minutes of running tags within a certain area. They don't even have to be following behind you, but they could know who's who from just scanning those tags. You know what I'm saying? So it's
a lot of people don't know what you're talking about. So I'm going to put a picture up and show them what you're talking about. Because believe it it or not, it's not in every area. I mean, I could tell you that people right now that are in different countries and different places, and they're like, "What is he talking about? What do you mean license plate readers? What do you mean
Are
license
you
plate
for
scan?"
real? They don't have scanners on the police cars on the back or the front that can read tag.
They don't even have them all over this country. I'm telling you, when you go through places like North Carolina and them, you don't even see them.
What?
I'm telling you, bro. Yes. So people talking about. All right. So I'm gonna put up a picture on here. I'm trying to find a good one.
Right.
I'm trying to find a good one here that I could show people and let them see. Let's see. There we go. Let's see. And then I'll tell you a story about that in a little bit too. Let's go to. All right, so let's see. All right, so I'm still trying to find it. Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. So basically, what happens? Oh, come on. This computer's taking a little bit. All right, there we go. So let me know when you see it on here, okay? Share the screen, share the Chrome, show the thing. There we go. So the ones that are listening on the radio right now, you're not going to be seeing it. But the ones that are on, so you can Google it if you're on the radio. You guys can
Yeah, I
Google
can see it.
So for you guys that are watching, this one is actually in Georgia. All right. Those things that you see right there on the back of the police cars are license plate readers. So basically every vehicle that he passed, it's going to automatically run the license plate. And when it runs the license plate, it checks to see if the car is a stolen car. It checks to see who the registered owner is. And if that registered owner has a warrant, if he has anything at all. Anything at all that.
Anything.
But the thing is, if you have tinted windows, the one thing about that is it also shows them a picture of the driver. So when you say, well, they don't know that I'm black, yeah, they do. They don't know who's, yeah, they do. Because, well, they may not know who's driving, but they know who the registered owner is. So now what they turn around and do is they could pull you over because they know who the person is that's driving that car. So yeah, that's definitely the first thing on there. Now a lot of people don't realize it, but I'll tell you. So a couple years ago, I was actually driving going south on Federal Highway, and the police car. I saw the police car when he was going. I was going north. Sorry, he was going south, and I saw the police car when he was going south, and then I saw the readers on there, and I'm like, okay. I didn't even think anything of it because I was just coming home from the school board building because of one of the committees I sit on, and funny enough, the committee that I was sitting on at the time was the committee to end the schoolhouse to jailhouse pipeline. So I'm leaving a meeting now with the sheriff, chiefs of police for different areas, the prosecutor, the state attorney, the public defender. All these people are there, and I'm leaving this meeting, and I'm going south. I'm going north, and he's coming south. And all of a sudden, I see him make a U-turn, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I've seen this movie before. I know how this goes. So
you already know.
You know what I mean? So then I saw when he came up behind me, and then he pulled me over, and he asked me, "Do you know I'm pull you over?" No, I don't. So then he started to tell me about he started going on about well, in this area and blah 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 blah, and yeah, but you didn't know who was driving, and I didn't say anything. I'm thinking to myself, you didn't know who was driving.
Steve, and you're going in opposite directions at opposite speeds, different speeds.
But because of the reader. So what? So then I told him, I was like, my cousin actually works for Broward Sheriff's Office. And he was like, really? I said, yeah. And I said, my dad used to be a correction officer right over there at the juvenile detention center. And all of a sudden, I was like, okay, well, just be careful because the area that you're in, it's known for high crime, and and I said, yeah, I was just coming from that was the first thing he asked me, where was I coming from? After he asked me, do you know why I pulled you over? He said, where are you coming from? And I told him where I was coming from. And then when I told him, my cousin works for the sheriff's department, and my dad used to be a correction officer, and all these things, all of a sudden,
attitude change.
yeah, exactly. And it was okay, thank you. You have a good night, and blah blah. And boom, that was it. Now I can't help but to think, if that hadn't been the case, would I've ended up with a ticket? Would I've ended up with I don't know what? But I feel it was all because of that license plate reader. Because when he ran that plate, then he knew who the person was driving it.
Right.
And
that's another point that I'm glad you brought up. Even with Jacob Blake, when they pull up on the scene, I'm not sure about their state, like you just said. Some states don't have it, but the majority of them do, especially if they get behind your car. They run your tag immediately, Steve. So they knew who they were dealing with before they even jumped out on them and anything transpired. If they ran that tag, they knew who they was dealing with. You feel me? If they knew he was a violent offender, if they knew he'd been to jail before, prison before, they had all of that information within minutes. So, go ahead.
And I'm glad you mentioned Jacob Blake, because I wanted to talk to you about that too. I wanted to get your opinion on a couple of things when it comes to the Jacob Blake situation, because I was speaking to a few people about it before, and one of my things is, and I always say it all the time, I start by saying the cops were wrong to shoot this man in the back. There's no two ways about it. But my thing is, if I am,
go ahead.
But my thing is, here's my thing. If I'm driving with my kids in the car and they pull me over, listen, dude, I'm not pulling away from the cop and try to get back in the car. I'm like, yes, sir, no, sir. You want me to lick that spot off your boot, sir? you see what I'm saying?
Steve. So, again, I understand what's going on in the world right now. I understand fully what police are doing to us, and I'm almost finished writing. Well, I'm done writing, but I'm doing the last parts of setting this book up, Unarmed, and Alternate Future, where it gives Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, it still gives them a future. I'll get back to that later, but it does give them a future. But what I was trying to say is that the Jacob Blake thing, the Jacob Blake shooting, the Rayshard Brooks shooting, Steve, we saw the video. And again, I'm like little baby. I'm with my people if they wrong or right. You feel me? I'm with them. But when you wrong, and I'm going to speak on it.
Yes.
So outside of all of the other shootings and things that happen over time where our people have been getting slaughtered and murdered on live camera, on video, outside of those things, we've seen cases, Rayshard Brooks. The police was nice to bruh. They was so nice to this, Steve. I've never really seen police that nice to people. Like, they were overly nice, damn near to bruh. Like, overly, sorry for Kurt, but they were overly nice to bruh. So they even let him move his car. That's how much of a threat they didn't think he posed to them. They even let him move his car. Steve, after this man failed a breathalyzer test, he knew his daughter's birthday was the next day. He knew this, Steve. Steve, he noticed. He noticed. He still decided to punch the man in the face. He still decided to wrestle two police officers, white police officers, with a gun, a billy club, a taser, a badge, all of these things that this man could hurt you and kill you with. He totally disregarded all of those things, right, Steve?
Mm-hmm.
Fought them, shot at them with their own taser. Steve, it's horrific. It was a horrific scene. I watched it live. At the same token, Steve, I promise you, anytime I get stopped by the police throughout my life, I always thought about my kids. I was never disrespectful. Now, when I was selling drugs and on the streets and had to run to get dope off of me or to get guns off of me, I did that, Steve. You feel me? Because we dirty at the time. So you got to get that off of you. You might take a whooping later from the police, but I got to get that off of me right now so I don't get that other charge.
Exactly.
So it's to be expected we're going to run, but we also know the consequences. You might get dogs chasing after you that might bite you up, and they let the dog hit you a bunch of times, Steve, before they actually take them off. It's been cases the dogs don't even want to let go, and they just keep fighting, right? So we know the consequences of our actions. Jacob Blake, I feel sorry for what happened to bro. I feel real bad. But again, your old lady on the side of the road pleading for you to stop and for you to chill. You got 3 kids in a car on the side of the road, on the passenger side at the rear tire. He's fighting with police. They even tased him, Steve. They tased him. Just like most black people, for some reason, we have strength that I think they really know about, and they don't really let us know about it, but they know something. But for some reason, we're able to eat tasers like no other ethnicity is able to do. And this man ate the taser, Steve, ate it, took it out, walked off, and opened his door. As a police officer, and you can even ask your dad or whoever, what would they have done? This dude then took the taser out, walked to they don't even know his kids in the car yet. All they know is he opened the door and he's reaching in. The man even grabbed his shirt and pulled him back, and he's still reaching, like going. If I'm a police, I don't know what you're trying to do to me, bro. I'm trying to make it home tonight to see my wife, kids. I don't know what you're trying to do. And that's why I try to tell dude, Steve, bro, if you get pulled over, talk with some sense. Don't be combative. Don't argue with them. Don't go back and forth. If you have a complaint or a gripe, take it up tomorrow or later that day, but at least make it home safe.
Something. And that's that's the same thing that I was saying, because I was just speaking to someone else right before the show, and I was having a conversation. Because my thing is, first off, like, from the beginning, like I was saying, and both of these shows are actually available on my website on lunchtimetalkwithsteve.com. Even I changed the name of the site to back to Roundtable with Steve. But I was having a conversation with someone about that before, and one of the things I was saying is, if you have your kid in the car, it's already going to be traumatizing for your kids to see you fighting with these cops. You have to start to think about the children that are in the car, and you also have
not really though, Steve. Not really, because what we go through in the hood and what the kids see now, our interactions with the police is normalized. Most of what they see, go ahead.
Yeah, but you know what? But that's the thing, though, because yes, it may be normalized, but we have to start to show them the better side of us. We can't say, and that's the thing, because again, like you and I just said, I think this could have been gone a whole different way if he just took his ticket or whatever, like a man. But honestly, I mean, and I'm gonna start again, because I know people are gonna tell me, people are gonna email me, text me, inbox me, all kind of things.
They'll be okay. They'll be okay.
But But I think that one of the things is that people need to relax when it comes to the cops. Listen, they're not gonna always gonna they have a lot of interactions and they all end this way. But my thing is, I also believe we have to look at our part. If I was a cop, like you just said, if you reach into the car and you're reaching in for something, because he didn't look like he was getting into the car. He looked like he was reaching into the car for
Yeah,
something.
he was going down. Right.
And
Right.
I'm just telling you now, if I'm a cop, I'm going to light you up. I'm not saying that I'm going to hit you 7 times, but I'm just saying, because I'm telling you now, if me and you having a fight and you reach for the car, you reach in your car and I got something on me, bro, I'm just telling you, I'm just saying.
See, not even that. Your old lady and the police commanding you they begging you to stop. They beg, hey, like, bro, Steve, he made it all the way around the car.
Yep. If they wanted to shoot him before that, they could have. But I think it's because he reached in. Now, again, the cop shouldn't have shot him 7 times. That's the one thing they should not have shot him 7 times. But honestly, this man, again, especially with my kids in the car, I am not fighting back. I understand the frustration. We have to pick our battles, and we have to look at the things. Now, you just mentioned Breonna Taylor, Trayvon, all these different people. These are people that were innocently killed. I can't say the same for this man. I honestly,
right.
Right. I think that one of the things we have to look at. I don't think that we can.
Like I was telling you, my book Unarmed it talks about people that were killed unarmed. I put Jacob Blake in the book at the end because it was still ongoing, and I didn't know what was going to happen with him. And come to find out, he lived. So that was like a change in the book itself. That changed the whole trajectory of the book because, like in my book, in the Terminator, they talk about how the Terminator come from the future to stop John Connor from being in the resistance, from being a captain and being a soldier in the resistance, in the future resistance. Right. So the Terminator came back to stop him, but he had to kill his mom. He ended up living. So in my book, I talk about how the same circle of people, they created a machine formed by the Hadron Collider. I don't know if you ever heard of the Hadron Collider, but I posted a picture on my page where they collide particles together to create the guard particle. So in my book, I'm talking about how they're going to be able to get that and see the future. They're able to see the future through this machine they created. Like on Paycheck, they was able to see the future with Ben Affleck. He had a movie called Paycheck where they would actually see the future. Right. So I did something similar to that and used all of the people that have died over the past few years and put them into the book.
But here's a question though, right? Okay, so where do you see this all going? I mean, we see the Black Lives Matter movement. We see, all these things that are going on. Where do you see this going? Where do you see the whole movement 10 years from now?
I asked a few people, Steve. I even asked people that's close to me where they see it going. And surprisingly, Steve, everybody said the same thing.
What's that?
They don't see it stopping.
What'd you say?
They don't see it stopping.
And what do you think we can do to help to
people will continue to die, particularly Black people will continue to die. They don't see it stopping no time soon.
But what do you see being the catalyst for that change? What do you think is going to make that change happen, though?
I was hoping
ever could happen.
I was hoping that the murder of George Floyd would have changed the dynamic of what's going on. But again, we're still watching people get murdered. Steve, I'm already writing a part 2 to the book. I was hoping to be done with it. I really was. You could ask my old lady, Steve, ask my fiance. I was done with it. I was hoping to be done with it and just do one book and be done. Steve, every morning I turn the TV on, the police had killed some dude in California riding on a bike, or like, are you serious?
But
they stopped him from a moving violation on a bicycle.
Yeah.
A bicycle.
I just saw today too, and I don't know how old the video was, but they beat this guy for walking in the wrong direction. He was walking the wrong direction, and a bunch of cops beat this guy for 6 minutes. And I'm like, wait a second, but you know, so here's another thing too, because I've asked this question.
He was a protester?
Huh?
Was he a protester?
No, this was just I don't even know what it was. I'll send you the video later on. But so this is something I ask a lot of my a lot of friends or a lot of people that I know that are police officers, especially Black police officers. My question to them is, when they travel outside of their area, are they afraid to be
I promise to God they are. I answer that shit.
They
I'm
are.
sorry. I answer it for them. I promise you they are.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't they be? They're human beings and they know what, not saying necessarily their colleagues are doing, but people in blue are doing to people. They see what's going on around the world. I would be nervous as hell if I was a police officer. My head would be on a swivel, bruh. If I was an officer, I would be nervous as hell.
And basically that's what's happening because you know, because like and I'll say it for people that are you know, watching from or even listening on the radio from other countries or from wherever. I mean, think about it. If you're a police officer in New York and you travel to Florida, the Florida police officers don't know you're a police officer. So when they see you as a Black man, all they know is, you know, this Black man is, as they like to call us, all thugs or whatever. They don't know who you are, you know, and even worse, if you're a police officer in another country, if you're a police officer in London and you come to the US, they don't know who you are. So now they just see you as another Black man. So the same way that you as a police officer are afraid that these other cops in another area are going to treat you bad, that's how we feel when we walk.
Check this out. I went through an incident last night. Not really an incident, but I went through something last night, right? So I'm in Hallandale vibing with some friends, and I see something going on across the street. I see it's somebody that I know, a familiar face. So his girl called him up in a situation, called him cheating or whatever. A little entanglement, a little situation. So the police pull up. I'm there. This young dude, he Steve, he had to be every bit about 23, 24 years old. Young dude, barely got hair on his face. So he's yelling and screaming, and hey, step back. You know, the usual thing they do. I'm like, sir, listen, you doing all of that yelling. This is my sister. I know her. Like, and this is my homie. Like, it's a misunderstanding. It's something that went down, but they okay. They'll handle it. So it's like a lot of yelling going back and forth. He's doing most of the yelling. The other officers recognize me. I'm telling him like, hey, I'm active in the community. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a few people or whatever, and I'm trying to keep the peace. I don't want it to escalate. So I'm trying to de-escalate everything, right? So after a while, I guess they pull him to the side. They put the girl in handcuffs. And I mean, because she was hitting on bruh. So they put her in handcuffs. But I guess after they talked to him for a minute, it was like, hey, yeah, this dude, he trying to keep the peace. Whatever they told him. He came back and apologized, bro. Like, ain't too many police Steve gonna do that, especially being police. He was a mixed guy. I can't say black and white. I can't say Spanish and black. He was mixed, but he came back and apologized on some real stuff. He came back and apologized and was like, you know, we'll talk later, but hey, I apologize for how I handled the situation. Blah blah blah. Like, and we left it at that. We shook hands and walked it off. You feel me?
And the thing is, a lot of times people don't realize that, again, you know, a person can be, a police officer can be just coming from a call that really got them hyped up, you know, and they're taking it out on you because of what just happened in the other call. Just the same way that a person could be could be all hyped up, like the same guy and his girlfriend. Let's say that guy got in his car, he went for a drive, and a police officer pulled him over for nothing. Now this guy is already hyped up because of the situation with his girlfriend. It doesn't mean he's mad at the cop. He's upset with cops. He doesn't like the cop. It just means you don't understand what just happened. Sometimes all it takes is talking. I mean,
Right.
the same way that when they come up to a white person's car and they, hey, buddy, how you doing? What happened? Is everything all right? Come to me the same way. You know, step to me the same way that you step into that guy, and give me the same respect. And you know, because that's what it comes down to. I was looking at the video of the Parkland shooter when you know, the guy that shot that shot up the school in Parkland, Stoneman Douglas, and this shot 34 people, killing 17. And when they walked up to him, they go, "Hey, bro, what's going on? Is everything all right?" Dude, 34 people, and you're asking him, "Is everything all right?" But yet you look at a kid that had that like, you know, Tamir Rice or any one of them, and your first thought is just to pull out a gun and shoot.
Hey, Steve, but look at this. The same thing happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin, with Kyle what the name, Littenhouse or Gittenhouse, whatever his name was. But
yeah,
people were attacking him. Some people were punching him in the face. One dude hit him in the head with a skateboard, and the little 17-year-old jit got off. And people were chasing him down the road, saying, "Hey, he just shot 3 people. He just killed 2 people. And the police just let him walk past."
But the thing is, they don't see his color as a threat, so automatically they see his color as friendly. So they don't even think about that could be the guy. You know,
not even his color being a threat. What he stands for. They say he were a part of certain groups, certain militia groups. Like, these groups come from other areas to defend businesses and defend businesses for private owners. Whatever those owners are into, these people are coming to these areas to defend the businesses for these owners.
Well, I'll tell you, the 2 people that he shot, their family should file civil charges against the business that brought him there. That's what we do. But even like the guy that shot that shot up the church a couple years ago, he went in and shot 9 black people, and the cops took him to Burger King. They took him
good
on the way to jail and asked him if he was.
These people that let the devil into their building.
You know what I'm saying?
Let him in.
I don't know any black man that could tell me that the cop ever stopped and took him to Burger King.
Man, never.
If any of y'all know one, let me know. But I don't know a black man that was ever taken to Burger King at all.
So let me ask you this while we're on this subject. With all of what you know, what I know, what we've seen, what we've been through in our lives, different walks of lives, when you see them being treated, sorry for cursing, when you see them being treated better than a regular civilian, like they're getting better treatment than somebody that's sick on the road or somebody that's being helped by the police. Like, they feeding them, they nurturing them, they're walking them to the car, they're tucking their heads in, hey, don't bump your head. Like, why are you so nice to them?
But that's
Why?
the thing.
Hold on, Steve.
Go ahead.
So when we know this is possible, we've seen it happen. Why do you think that is? Besides white supremacy, what else is it that these police don't even know these people and they're so nice to them? Are they getting directives before they enter? Are they getting brief on these individuals before they go in, or what's going on? But why they being treated so nicely and you don't even know him?
Well, see, but that's the thing though, because I think when they see them, they see, oh, that could be my relative. That could be and I think they can associate more with that person, and and I think that when they see those people, that they start thinking, okay, well, you know what? Yeah, I mean, it's just boys being boys. It's just because to them, they're seeing their nephew, their cousin, their brother, whoever, just like you and me. I tell people all the time, and people think I'm joking when I say it. I tell people I will walk through the hood at midnight and feel safe. Whereas walking through some of these gated communities at midday, I don't feel safe. And they're like, well, how can you walking through the hood? Because these people look like me and I know what I'm looking for. I already know what I'm looking for, and I already know how to act and how not to act. And I don't see them as a threat. I don't see these people as threats. I know that you're strapped, and I don't think that you're a threat to me, because I know that you're not going to pull out your gun and do anything to me unless I do something to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you see me coming through your neighborhood and you see me, looking in cars or whatever, then you're going to be like, hey, wait a second, what's going on? But unless I do something, I don't, and so the same way I feel comfortable around people that look like me, I think cops do the same thing. When they see someone that look like them, they don't think of that person as a threat. So now, and then they want to, like you say, cuddle that person or whatever, and they don't bump their heads going in. They don't let the dogs go and rip them apart. But I mean, I saw a video, like I was talking to a police officer right before. He's a former Broward Sheriff officer, but he now is a federal officer. And I was talking to him about that earlier, and I was telling him, you see the things where the police would let the dogs bite people up. And I mean, it's like the dog is taking a chunk out your calf, and the cop is saying, stay still. If not, I'm not going to get him off. Well, how am I going to stay still when the dog is taking a chunk out of the muscle in my calf?
You moving around, right?
The more you move, the
stop
more they're
resisting.
Stop resisting, dude. I'm not resisting. I'm just in pain. You know what I mean? It's like how are you going to tell stop resisting when there's a dog chewing on them like he's dinner? You know,
a German Shepherd.
Yeah, a German Shepherd at that, not even a Chihuahua or anything. A German Shepherd that got the bite strength to break big bones. It's crazy. So I got another question that came in on WhatsApp, and they said, ask Gary, as a young black man who has street smarts and is now an author, what advice can he give to youngsters, not only in the US, but in the UK and in the Caribbean?
Man, the only thing I could tell y'all, like me and Steve talking about right now, that nobody told to me when I was younger, is that once you get a felony, I ain't talking about the shooting, once you get a felony hanging over your head and you can't live certain places, you can't work certain places, that's when that real hurt come in. That's when that real like, that's when reality really set in about who you are and what's going to become of the rest of your life. That felony, I swear to God, bro, it ain't nothing to play around with. So if you know anybody that's trying to get in a life of crime, or if you asking this question for yourself, bro, I'm telling you, it ain't what you want. Like, it's going to haunt you for the rest of your life until you die. Until I go grave, is gonna mess with me. You feel me? But I found other ways to maneuver through life, through interactions with people and people that have been to prison and they have felonies themselves. I was able to get knowledge from them, and I'm able to share it with other people.
Well, here's a question for you. And this is something that we talked about on Dr. Daisley's show Sunday on the same radio station, 246 Bajan Vibes. But I got a question for you. Do you feel like it is systemic that every black man must get a felony before he turns 18 to stop him from voting and from even going on to a better life?
Yes, I was gonna say not even voting. It's past voting. It's deep rooted, Steve, and it goes further down the rabbit hole than we think.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we don't see all of the trials and tribulations that everybody experienced, we still know for a fact that having a felony conviction damages black families, damages black men as a whole.
Definitely, yes.
It damages us. Regardless, after we do our time, regardless of how much you paid your court costs, it's still there. They say, hey, you remember you used to do this when you was 18, 19, 20? Remember you did this? It's like it never goes anywhere. So back to what his question was, I would definitely want to get that out to all of the guys that's trying to get into the life. If you being peer pressured to break in houses, sell drugs, sex traffic, any of those things. If you being peer pressured, bro, I promise you, that little bit of money that your little ass, my bad, Steve, that little bit of money that you're gonna get, I promise you, the time that you're gonna get, they not gonna even equate to each other. They not gonna even be equal, bro. Like you about to get 5 to 10 years for sex trafficking, drugs, probably pimping minors, all type of stuff, right? And you done made probably 30, 40,000, if that, Steve, if that.
But even if you made 100,000, that's all going to go to your attorney anyway. So right. And the thing is, the attorney is going to take your money, knowing very well that you're still going to.
I said 30 because I know a lot of these dudes ain't got the wits and the smart enough to even get that high up. You know what I'm saying? As far as making that type of money, not glorifying it, but I know they don't have the intellect to even make it that high up. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you, what do you think of like Jeffrey Epstein? Do you think if Jeffrey Epstein had been a black man, he would have got away with everything that he did for so long?
If he would have been a black man, he would have been locked up years ago. Everybody that would have been affiliated with him would have been locked up. Remember Heidi Fleiss back in the days?
Yeah.
That girl had a ledger book out of this world of all of the famous people she done slept with and that she done pimped her girls out to make money off of. She had a hell of a ledger book. She went to federal prison. They took that book and we ain't never heard nothing else from her.
You're right. And and that's so crazy. So let me ask you.
Who didn't go to jail? Hugh Hefner.
And Hugh Hefner had all these girls all over the place. I mean, young girls, barely 18.
See, you were pimping these girls out to baseball players, football players, basketball. Once you come to his mansion and you like one of them girls, man, point of mine. You sign, man, Hugh Hefner wasn't. They know what it was.
Of course, but a lot of them were in there with him, so that's why. So let me ask you a question, right? So let's go back to the Jeffrey Epstein thing.
Right.
Do you think Jeffrey Epstein is really dead? Do you think?
Me personally, no.
Let me hear you, because I'm going to tell you my thoughts afterwards. Go ahead. Let me hear yours.
I mean, just like, what's his name? Your boy from Boca, Madoff. They got enough money, Steve, to do a lot. I don't know why Madoff laid down. That's on him. But Jeffrey Epstein got his own island, and he messed with the top people. They had a list of everybody from Chris Tucker to everybody that had been on this man island. For whatever reason they been there, they went there.
Prince Andrew, all these people were on there.
Bomber. Oh man, a lot of people that been there. Whatever reason, Steve, they went there. They went.
Bill
I
Clinton.
don't judge nobody, but hey, those people went, and that group, Anonymous, that hacker group, they released. Man, they let everything go. They didn't care who they threw under the bus, and it was a long list, long list.
So here's my thought. All right, if you have that much money, I mean, you have money coming out the yin yang. If you have that much money, you can pay them to make sure to fake your death. And I'll tell you, because I mean, let's be for real. The guys that were supposed to be the CEOs, they went to the bathroom, they went on break. What? They weren't there.
The cameras were pointing in different directions.
Yeah, the camera wasn't pointed onto them. I mean, come on. I've never heard of a CEO of a jail that all the correction officers go on break at the same time, or even a shift change or whatever. Come on. Look, if you got that kind of money, if you have that money, I'm going to tell you, me personally, if I got that money, I'm going to pay every single one of them off where they will never have to work again. Every single one of them, I'm breaking off at least $1 million. Okay. And I mean, I don't care if I have to do it for 100 people, I'm breaking everybody $1 million at least. And then I'm getting out of there. The coroner, everybody, the police officers, the paramedics that come, everybody.
And that's another thing. When you mention the coroners, if you ever notice, anytime particularly a black person get killed by police officers or whatever happened, you see the family always get a outside coroner, or they always get an outside person to do the autopsy. They don't trust the city's coroner because you tainted. You gonna do whatever the city tell you to do. Mm-hmm. So they always get an outside person to do the autopsies of these bodies. They don't trust them. I wouldn't trust them either.
Now, let me ask you another question, though. I want to hear your opinion on this one. Now, every single one of these families seem to get Benjamin Crump as their civil attorney. What do you think? Go ahead, man. I want to hear what you're saying.
Hey, Steve.
What do you say?
Hey, Steve. I love his hustle, bro. I love his hustle. Like, if you know your child, your brother, your uncle, your friend, whoever it is, got killed by police in a family, this man name everywhere. He everywhere. The first person you think of that you know gonna get that guap, that you know gonna get that bag, that you know gonna get that check, that's gonna stand up and man, listen, they ain't wrong. I know that boy busy. That boy got to have a team like Willie Gary out of Boca.
I got a Boca,
you know Willie Gary?
Yeah, I got a picture with Willie Gary. I met him.
That boy got to have a team like him.
Yeah, man. Willie Gary's actually, he lives out in the Boca, but he's actually from Pahokee area. He's from Muck, man, from the Muck City.
Man, I'd have been at so many of his parties up there at the office building. Oh man.
Yeah. Because but yeah, he's from over in Pahokee area.
I did not know that. Wow.
A good friend of mine is the former mayor of Pahokee. So when I was speaking to him, Colin Walks used to be the mayor of Pahokee, and when one time I was speaking to Colin, and I don't even know how Willie's name came up, and then he told me, and I was like, what? So then I met Willie Gary at the ICABA meeting with a whole bunch of people were there at that meeting. And when I met him and I told him, that I know Colin, and he was like, yeah, I'm from right over there. And he started telling me about himself and everything. I told him I got to get him on the show one of these days, but he's always busy, man.
Yeah, savage.
But I think, honestly, and yes, he's a civil attorney. And this is where people...
I think the first time I seen him was on the Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous.
Which one? Really?
The lifestyle of the rich and famous back in the day. Yeah, Willie Garrett.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
didn't.
that boy was very
But
popular, bro. Gold faucet. Gold faucets in this house.
what? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And to go from rags to riches, I'm telling you, man. But look,
Oh, this what I forgot to ask you this too earlier when we was on the subject of the people that was fighting the police. The thing that happened out in California, the dude that was on the bicycle, where they stopped him for a traffic violation. He punched the one police. They said he dropped a gun on the ground and they shot him and killed him. You saw that?
No, I didn't see that.
No?
I didn't see that. I gotta watch that video.
Get out of here, man. They rioting like crazy up there. Yeah, California. Yeah, the police, the guy was on a bicycle, a muscular dude, big black dude, like he fresh out. And they saw him riding on a bicycle. They approached him. A fight popped off. They say he punched one of the police and he dropped his jacket with a gun wrapped up in it on a bicycle. Okay.
Crazy part. So if he dropped the gun,
oh, they say he pivoted and went back to reach it, and they shot him and killed him.
Huh.
He pivoted like one of the basketball players and went back for it. And again, Steve, we done seen some stuff on videos. Man, listen. That's why I try to tell people don't fight, don't resist, don't run, don't argue. But we seen cases where people didn't do that and they still was shot. So it's like, damn, if you do that, my bad.
But the thing is, okay, and I understand that, but I don't want to give them an excuse. If I'm like Philindo, if I'm kneeling on the floor, on the ground, and I got my hands on my head, and I'm on my knees, and you shoot me, then that's like right off the bat. Okay, boom.
No threat.
But when I'm fighting, and you shoot, now they have an excuse. It's like, well,
Right.
Yeah.
But hey, Steve, even when you look at it, and it's sad, and it's unfortunate that it happened, but Oscar Grant at Fruitville Station, a few people, they've been shot in handcuffs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they not posing a threat at all, and they still are being killed. So it's like, when you have kids, you have daughters, you have sons, it's like nerve-wracking as to what you would tell them that would be comprehensive to them. It's like, some of these jits go outside and they didn't grow up with fathers. They didn't grow up with structure. So naturally, they're going to be combative. F this, F that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be combative. So if they keep seeing what's going on in the world, their parents keep seeing what's going on, the moms keep seeing what's going on, I'm like, you would think more moms would talk to their kids more and have an open dialogue about these things. But it seems like it's not, because more and more kids or more men, I don't know who need to talk to these people, wives, girlfriends, mothers, but they're being more combative and they're being more resistant to the police, which causes another action to happen. Like they say, for every action, it's a reaction. You causing this thing to happen that didn't even have to happen. You caused this man to dump and shoot you 7 times that could have been easily avoided if you would have just laid down when you got tased. When you feel that taser, that hurt. Bro, just lay down, put your hands behind your back and bond hide. Why do I want them to kill me and shoot? I don't get it, Steve.
And that's the thing. You know what's so crazy? I just Googled California police shooting, and so many came up that I'm not even sure which one is the one. I mean, it's like
the other day. This happened like Friday, Saturday.
There was one to go in Pasadena. There was another one, in LA. There's one at Walmart. where the guy had a baseball bat, and the police shot and killed him.
Yeah, this happened over the weekend where a dude he got in a fight with police. I got his name in a room in the book.
But my point is though, there's so many, and this is just California, and it got to the point. It got to the point that I remember about 2 years ago that different countries were doing what do you call it? They were doing warnings, and they were warning their black residents not to come to the United States because it's not black men in America. And I'm like, that's crazy that they're gonna tell people that. It's nuts that they're gonna that another country has to put that as a warning not to go to America because as a black man you're not safe. And I'm like, wow. At first, when I heard that, I was like, that can't be for real. And then when I saw it, I was like, wow, it's crazy. So do you think that body cam actually makes a difference when it comes to these things?
It helps, but I'm not sure it make a difference because it seems like we're still being shot, we're still being roughed up. I'm still seeing women beat up. I'm still seeing people attacked physically by the police. So I'm not sure if it's really helping. But I mean, I'm not sure if it's like the best thing, but it does help because a lot of those people in those areas and a lot of those video cameras, like even with the Rashard Brooks and other cases, they're saying like police are going tampering with the video cameras at these places, at the businesses. Like they're going to wipe the evidence off or they're going deleting the tapes. So it's like the only thing you have to go with is the body camera or the dash cam if it's one there, or a witness that's actually taking their phones out. And for years, I've been looking at people that have been taking their cameras out, their cell phones out, Steve, to record incidents instead of helping. But at the same time, it does give everyone an insight as to blow by blow what transpired between start to finish before that person actually died. It give us a description. It give us I'm talking about we got an actual video of what happened before this person died in multiple cases. And for some reason, these people still get off. You see what happened in Tallahassee the other day? Them police that shot those 3 dudes, Wilbon, Woodard, McDade. I forgot her first. I think it was Tiffany McDade, and one other person, Michael something. But the 3 officers in Tallahassee got off from that. Like, and when you see that, you like, come on, bro. And that was earlier this year, before George Floyd, before any of that. But we're just hearing about it right now.
Let me play this one, and I think this is the one you're talking about. Let me play this video really quick, all right?
Glenn and Courtney, yeah, that is all after there were protests here at the sheriff's station last night. Well, today, family of the man who was shot and killed, as well as their legal representation, they're calling for the deputies who shot and killed him to be arrested and criminally prosecuted, as authorities say that this man who was shot, he assaulted a deputy, they allege, and also was in possession of a firearm. They say they are investigating. But here is that man, 29-year-old Dijon Kizee. He's identified by family. Now, this all happened yesterday afternoon around 3:15 in the Westmont area. LA County Sheriff's officials say the 2 deputies were driving on Budlong Avenue when they spotted a man riding his bicycle in violation of vehicle code. When they tried to stop him, they allege he ran. Deputies pursued. They accused the man of punching one of the deputies and dropping a bundle of clothes. In them, deputies spotted a handgun. They say both deputies opened fire. Dijon Kizee pronounced dead at the scene. His aunt speaking out today.
My nephew was sweet. He loved his mom and his little brother. Dude, this is not America. This is ridiculous. I don't know what we're living in. What kind of society? We're all human.
We are stopped way too many times and harassed in our own community. A bicycle traffic stop led to this man's death, being shot and killed.
So what do you say when you see things like this? I mean, this is crazy. I'm gonna
Again,
just
Steve,
mute the video so we.
I was telling my fiance, I was hoping that this was just gonna be the first book of Unarmed. I was hoping and praying that it was gonna be the first book, but as we can see, it's still going on. Riots, protests, clashes with police, Kenosha, Wisconsin, Portland, Oregon. Like, it's going down, Steve. Like, these people, and it's not just black people out there protesting and rioting. It's a lot of white people. Like, if you've been seeing the shootings, even with the guy Kyle Littenhouse, if you see the shooting with him, he shot 3 white people. You feel me? Like, it wasn't black people that he shot; it was 3 white people, skateboarders and such. You feel me? So it's taking a turn in a different direction. At first, it was just blacks and black women, black men. Now it's white women, white men. Like,
They shouldn't.
Like, they
It's
don't
everybody
care.
now.
Yeah, like anybody could get it. Anybody could get it. Whoever against democracy, whoever against Trump, whoever against whatever's going on, that's what's going on right now.
I was just about to ask you that. I was going to ask you, do you think that Trump has something to do with this?
He's just a man, just like anybody else. I could say I have a lot to do with what happened to the streets. I could say I have a lot to do with the heroin I sold and a lot of the families that I messed up. I could say I have a lot to do with the crack that I sold, Steve, and the families that I messed up, and not necessarily directly affecting me, but the guys that I sold it to and who they sold it to. You know what I'm saying? So all in all, it still came back to me. Just like with Trump, you can't really say it directly affected him. It's the whole system as a whole. It's not even just him. It's the system as a whole. It's systematically put in place to break black people, to separate us, to keep our women on Section 8, to keep food stamps going. It's to keep us divided. When you have something as solid as divide and conquer, there's nothing you could do. These people have been planning this and plotting on us for hundreds of years. And every child we have, every generation that come behind us, gonna feel this same rap. They're gonna feel everything that we're feeling, everything that our parents felt, probably not to the same degree, Steve, but they're gonna feel it. They're gonna feel it. At some level or another, they're gonna feel it. Right now, these millennials, they standing up in the paint and they rising up and they like, man, we ain't going for that. We ain't going for it. The millennials ain't playing. They not going for it.
So what do we think is the change, though? I mean, okay, the millennials are standing up, they're protesting, they're doing all these things. But as we said earlier, we don't think that's going to be.
We've been seeing change, Steve. We've been seeing the ban of the chokeholds. We've been seeing police that have been getting fired left and right. We've been seeing police that have been getting suspended immediately or fired immediately. Before, it took years to let them to let them people go. It took years. It took years, Steve, to let these people go from the department. But now it's happening. Now people are listening. Again, when you look at the front lines of the Black Lives Matter movement, when you look at what's going on across the nation, it's white people in the front. They taking those bullets. They taking those rubber bullets. Go ahead. What you say, Steve?
We need more white people in on the front line because
we need more allies. We do.
Right,
we
exactly.
Do.
When we say it, then it's just us complaining. It's like, oh God, there they go again with that racism thing. But when white people stand with us and say it, other white people stop and listen and go, wow, wait a second. You know, I never thought about how it affect my my friend Jerome or whatever, because they never think about it.
And what's brother name, Faye? What's brother name, Steve, that was he been on the Breakfast Club a few times, the owner of the 76ers, that he messed with Meek Mill real heavy. Like he that's his bruh. Like he crazy about Meek Mill, the owner of the 76ers. White buddy.
The owner
Ball of crap. What's bruh name? The
Robert
owner of the 76ers. The young dude that had been on.
Let me see who's the owner of the 76.
And he got Charlemagne to wear his jerseys, and he pledged a bunch of money to them the last time he was on there when they had a little thing. And he was like, y'all wear my jerseys or whatever. Like, I donate extra money to, I think it was a 76ers owner. What's Brad? He owned one of the basketball teams.
Joshua Harris is the owner of the 76ers.
Not him, man. The guy that messed with Meek Mill. The guy that got Meek Mill out of jail, that talked to the judges and all that stuff for Meek Mill. The basketball team owner.
Also, Michael Rubin.
Who the Philadelphia Eagles. Who the owner of? I think he's something with Philadelphia. I thought it was the 76ers. It might be the Eagles. The owner.
Jeffrey Lurie.
That ain't him either.
But I don't know.
Hey, look it up on your phone. I did an episode with him. Anyway, but him personally, he was with what Charlemagne was talking about. Like, he is an advocate for people that are getting locked up. And again, he's a billionaire. He never knew that Meek Mill and people was getting locked up on GP. He thought like black people, rappers, and people was getting locked up just because. You feel me? And him, Van Jones, Meek Mill, all of them, I think they collaborated with this company, what it's called, Cut 50 or something like that. Cut 50. But it's Rubin what? Michael Rubin. Thank you, babe. Michael Rubin. Who he on?
He's part owner of the 76ers.
And y'all ain't see his name when y'all pulled up the 76ers?
I said Michael Rubin.
Part owner, Steve. And you part owner of Convicted Conversation. Your name ain't gonna pull up, no?
That's what I said. I said Michael.
Bruh, anytime Rockefeller came up, Jay-Z name came up, Damon Dash name came up, and Kareem Burke's name came up.
But I didn't see all those names come up. I see Joshua Harris and Michael Rubin.
Michael Rubin, that's what I'm talking about, yeah. But yeah, he plays a lot of money with anything that Charlemagne and them do on the Breakfast Club as far as prison reform. He worked with Meek Mill and Van Jones and all them boys. Like, he's serious about it. And again, he's been around so many privileged people, Steve. He never knew that we was going through this. He never knew that a judge could have beef for you or a certain neighborhood and to take it out on all of y'all. He never knew that.
But that's what I keep telling people. And that's why I tell people when I tell them to vote, because what a lot of people aren't realizing is that judge, his word is it. So when we say we don't want to vote and we don't want to stand up in line and vote and we don't want to do this and we don't want to do that, when that judge comes and say, you know what, if that judge says, I don't like people from Parkway area, I don't like people from Hollywood or whatever. If you're from Hollywood, you're gonna go to jail. You don't. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that we got to look at. When it's time to vote, we have to make sure we're voting for judges. We're voting for the state attorney, the prosecutor, the federal, what do you call them? What do you call those people? The public defender. All these different people we have to get out and vote for, because I'm telling you, you guys aren't listening. These are the people that make the decisions that affect your life. When we start talking about these police officers that are shooting people and they're not getting charged, it's because it's the state attorney that chooses not to charge them. So what you need to do is when it comes time to vote, you need to vote for a state attorney that is willing to stand up for the community. Actually, I shouldn't even say for the community. I should say for what's right. Because if a person if a police officer is right, then they should stand up for him. If the person that they shot is right, then they should stand up for him. They should stand on the side of justice.
But then, Steve, when you do that, you get ostracized, and then you're a pariah. Like, look at that other case. I think happened recently where the police stood up and talked and said something about what was going on in the department, and they get fired. Like,
well, see, but that's, again, because the way the system is designed right now, it's designed to protect the ones who are doing wrong. So what we need to do is, again, we have to change it from the top down. We have to change it. Again, these are positions that are all voted positions. The state attorney, the sheriff, all these are voted positions. So if we see that these people that are voting in are not doing what they're supposed to do, vote them out. This is what we have to do. It's not going to change overnight. But if we see that we have, and we'll use California because, like I just said, I pulled it up and a bunch of them came up. So we use California. If you see that in a particular, in that area of California, Los Angeles County, that so many people are being shot and the police aren't being charged, then that's where you need to start to look at the people that are in charge and how you vote them out. Because if the state attorney isn't charging them, get him out. If the sheriff isn't doing anything, get him out. If you see the mayor isn't doing anything, get him out. We have people that are going to do right.
Right, and I even asked Al Pollack when he was on my show. I was asking him if he would have been elected sheriff, what type of programs would he have for the youth outside of the Explorer programs? Again, I'm talking about hood dudes. I'm talking about real hood dudes that them broken houses that keep that fire on them daily, that carry a 40 Glock daily. I'm talking about them hood dudes. How do you, or what can you do to entice them away from the streets into the police department? Even if they smoke weed, Steve, everybody damn near smoked weed or did something when they was young, especially black boys. When you hang around certain people, if you don't do certain things, Steve, you either gonna get beat up or you not gonna be in with that crowd. You already know what I'm talking about. So these dudes do certain things for clout, and then now the future comes and they didn't go to prison, they don't have felonies, and they just work a regular job. How do you get them dudes into being a police or correction officer or firefighter outside of the traditional ways of doing it, the Explorer stuff?
You know what? And that's a good question. That's a very good question. I'm the president of the board of trustees for AMI Kids Greater Fort Lauderdale, which is an alternative school for kids who got out of juvenile detention center.
Right.
A lot of these kids are the kids that you're talking about. These are kids that have had these issues. And one of the things that we realize, as simple as it seems, talking to them makes a big difference. I mean, I sit there and when I go to the school and I sit and I talk to these kids, the first couple of times they may not want to talk because, they're hard. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. Okay, no problem. But the more that they see that Steve cares and Steve is not going anywhere, they open up. Another thing that we do that we do with them is the executive director and some of the other people from the school, they actually take them on trips. So they've been to Tallahassee, they've been to Washington, D.C., they've been on whitewater rafting trips, they've been on scuba diving trips, they've been on all these
whitewater rafting.
Yeah, you get in that raft and you're going down. But you know what's so funny though? These kids will come back and they start telling everybody how much fun they had. And it's more than just the trip because they learn so much because we take these things and we incorporate learning into them. So one of the things that the people one of the things that we were talking about, and this was actually started by Judge Frank Orlando 50 years ago, 51 years ago, actually, no, because he was tired of sentencing young boys to jail when it was just that they weren't getting any attention and they weren't getting what they needed. And he started realizing that just talking to them and showing them a different life. Do you know how many kids in Broward County right here? And for those of you that are listening that don't know Broward County, this is where Fort Lauderdale, we have the beach, we have everything. And there's so many kids that have never been to the beach. And I'm like, it takes one bus ride to get to the beach. You can get to the beach in 10 minutes. And most of these kids have never been a lot of them haven't been to the beach. So when we start teaching them how to do scuba diving and how to get scuba certified, it's like a whole new life opened up because all they knew was the 4 blocks around where they live.
Right, Steve, and that's what I was gonna say. It's all about exposure. I remember when I was growing up and I had certain people in my life and we had certain programs in our neighborhood where we went horseback riding. What black young teenager at that time get to go horseback? Who gets to see a rodeo? A rodeo.
Yeah.
Like we were exposed to so much stuff. I've been skiing. I mean, but it's all about the exposure. If you're not exposed to it or if you're not around the right people, you're never going to see these things. These kids in the inner city neighborhoods and these hoods, Steve, they don't get those opportunities. They don't have people to even care about them. Back then, when we had people to care about us, Steve, they really cared. They came to our house on the weekends, teachers and all, came to check on us because they had favorite students. Now, you check on a favorite student, are you touching them or you want to be with them? It's like people are scared to get close. Go ahead.
But that's one of the things too, because and I think a lot of it too is the parents. I think when we were growing up, and even now with a lot of the parents, a lot of these parents want to be their kid's friend, and because they get jealous when somebody else is your friend. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's crazy. So now, or they look for an opportunity to make money. Oh well, if we say that he touched you, we can sue the schools and we can sue this and we can sue that.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, like you just said with the horseback riding and all kind of things, that's one thing I did with my daughter. I exposed my daughter to so many different things. I'm talking about when it came to snow tubing in Nashville, or going to Ruby Falls in Chattanooga, where people are going to be doing where you go into a mountain. That's where the waterfall is. There's so much. So when you start to show these kids at AMI the different side of it, I'm telling you. I went to a conference last year, last October. I went to a conference at AMI out in Tampa, and it was all the different locations. And there was a kid that was there. Not a kid; he's a grown man now, and he was saying that when he grew up, when he was younger, he never thought that he would ever go to college. He never even thought he would graduate high school. And then he started thinking that because a lot of his friends never lived past 21, he probably never lived past 21 either. Now this guy, because he went to one of the AMI locations and they actually started showing him a lot of these different things and exposing him to different things. Now he is actually a counselor at a college where he graduated and has 2 degrees. Bear in mind, this guy never thought he would make it past 21, but the exposure that he had is what made it different. So that's why I tell parents all the time, if you're not rich, you don't have to be rich. Put your kid in.
And not only the exposure, just somebody that's consistent, somebody that cares, somebody that's around, that check on you, even if they're not in your physical presence, but they call to have a conversation with you, man, that mean a lot to them kids. And people don't even know. Like I tell a lot of parents, bro, you ain't got to be around the baby mama. You ain't got to be around the kids every day. As long as you call them and they can hear your voice, they happy with just that. They happy with that. But if they not hearing it,
the other thing you got to do is, if you say you're going to do something, do it.
Yeah.
That,
Stick to it.
That's one thing. When we tell these kids at AMI that we're gonna do something, it's gonna be done. If we tell them we're gonna have a food truck event and we're gonna take them out on the food truck because we have a food truck, and if we tell them we're gonna do it, it's done. If we tell them whatever we say is gonna be done, it's done. And we even have partners right now with the Miami Dolphins where they help to feed the kids, and not just the kids but their whole family. Because we're not gonna come and say, okay, Gary, here's a meal, but then your sisters are hungry. So we're feeding you, your brother, your sister, your mother, your grandmother, whoever's in the house is gonna eat.
Right.
And that's what makes these kids feel a little bit different, because I'm telling you, man, as a community, we have to do better. We have to,
dropping the ball, man. And that was another reason. That was another reason for this book. Like, we dropping the ball, Steve. Like, men as a whole, we dropping the ball. And that's what inspired the new man. Like, women, they not going nowhere. They're consistent with what they do. They consistent. We back and forth in jail. We running the streets. They still taking care of the kids. They still paying the bills. They still paying the rent, the light bill, the water bill, the cake. They consistent. We're not. And that's why the home's in disarray right now. There's no structure because the women, they running it. The dudes ain't staying around long enough to even do nothing or to even make an impact on these kids' lives. They not even around long enough. They in the streets or back in jail. But again, that's still up to the women because they could choose better men.
So that's true too. And I posted that before about a year ago, and people got upset with me when I said, it said, the post read, don't complain about your baby daddy, you chose him.
You picked him.
You know?
And you let him have unprotected sex with you.
So let me ask you, what do you think of the no snitching policy that you see people with all the time?
You see where it's going with that. Like, the world's getting worse. Like I was teaching and telling my daughters, if something happened to one of y'all, you better tell me. I don't care what nobody say. You better tell me. Daddy gonna handle it. But yeah, I mean, murders are going unsolved, and people know who did it, and murders are going unsolved. And the same person that committed this crime commit other crimes, and those crimes are going unsolved. And we know who did it, but like I say, nobody want to speak up and say anything. But the hood is going to continue to decline
until it hits their family. When it hits their family, then you see them on Channel 7 talking about, I know y'all know what happened. Why don't y'all say something? Well, why didn't you say something when you knew what happened?
Right.
I tell you, I'm going to tell you, as people say, oh, no, don't snitch. Okay, don't do it. Let Steve know, because I'm going to tell. And especially the reward.
Don't touch my kids. Don't bother nothing that belongs. Man, listen, I promise you that these problems ain't what they want.
I'm gonna say this straight up front, and anybody that wants to record this part, record it and you hear it. Anybody touch my kid, I'm gonna put you out in the middle of the Everglades and let the alligators and the snakes and the panthers and all them get you. I'm just saying straight up front. I'm not even calling the cops.
Try. Eat your ass.
I'm gonna put you out there, and I'm just gonna cut you with a razor blade so you'll bleed, so all of them would be able to smell the blood and come out there and get you.
It's a long way back to the highway.
Anybody mess with my kid, that's where you're going. I'm putting you about 10 miles away from the highway. If you could get back from there to the highway and get a car to give you a ride, then God was on your side.
But God helped your whole ass. He helped you that day.
You know what I'm saying? Because
if you could get back to the highway, he was on your side. Trust me, you deserve to live.
Somebody mess with my kid, I am telling you now, I'm going to cut you with a razor blade, just enough for you to bleed, and I'm going to put you 10 miles into the Everglades and let the gators get you. Record that. because I'm telling you right up front right now. And the thing is, I'm not even gonna hide when I do it. And somebody, if the cops come knock on my door and go, "Did you do it?" Yeah, I did.
Look, you on the directions? You on the coordinates?
You know what I'm saying?
He's probably gone by now, though.
Yeah, the Gators ate him already, so he's probably not out
he
there.
probably find something.
Man, I tell you,
man, no telling what you gonna find. You might find something out there. Trust
people think I'm crazy when I say that, but I mean, I'm telling you, I mean, it's the truth. That's one thing. Don't mess with my kid. Don't mess with my kid. That's me. You know what I mean? And that's why I can't, when I see these parents on TV, these mothers that, oh, they met the guy last week and they let him babysit their kid and the person beat their kid. What? They killed the kid and what? Wait. So you met this guy last?
Your phone breaking up, Steve.
Huh?
Your phone breaking up.
Oh, because it's really bad.
Hey,
can you hear me?
I'm glad you just mentioned kids. Did you see that episode I did on my podcast with the guy Lewis Martin Pages that killed his mom down in Miami Gardens?
No, I didn't hear that one. I didn't see that on the podcast. Talk to me about that.
Spanish guy. He asked his mom to borrow her car. She said no. And then they start arguing over some orange juice. And then he asked her for a remote control to control the AC, I guess a wall unit or whatever to control the air conditioner, like a little remote control. His mom, they going back and forth for a few minutes, and he ended up shooting the lady and killing her. His own mother. You were just talking about kids and parents, and here it is, this dude that killed his own mother, that then carried him around and birthed him, and ultimately fed him, carried him for 9 months in her stomach, probably let him listen to all kind of music and everything, Spanish music and shit. And then
no, but you know, you know what's so crazy? All right. Now, if she beat him, spanked him, whatever, then she'll end up in court or even in jail. But yet, this is the consequence of not. I mean, okay. Let me ask you: what do you think?
My bad, Steve. He's 29.
What? What was he doing?
Grown man living at the mama house, arguing about orange juice, the remote control, and her car. Her car, not his. 29 years old, Steve. I forgot to tell you that. My bad.
Straight. Let me get this straight. I'm gonna be the psychologist in this one right now. Okay. So this man's 29. He lives at home.
Right.
He doesn't have a car, so he has to borrow his mother's car.
Right.
He's arguing about orange juice, so obviously he didn't buy the orange juice.
Facts.
Okay. And the remote control and the AC, I'm assuming he doesn't pay the light bill either. If not, he wouldn't have to worry about that. Yeah. Okay. He don't have a girlfriend and he was sexually deprived. All right. Because if you don't have anything, if you don't have a single thing, guess what?
See,
you don't.
This man ain't had nothing going on. After he shot at mama, he tried to kill himself, but he ran out of bullets. So he just called the police. Man, come lock me up.
Well, you know what he should have done? He should have shot himself first. I mean, it's like, why you shoot your mother? I mean, come on, man. If you get that mad at your mom, guess what you need to do? Move out the house.
Right. Just leave. Dog, you 30. Steve, just leave. Dog, you arguing with your 59, 60-year-old mama about some orange juice? Bro, get your grown behind.
Listen, I can see how this conversation goes. Check it out. He pick up his cell phone. He texts the girl, babe, what you doing? And she like, oh, nothing. You want to come over? He like, yeah, but you got to come pick me up.
Right. Ma ain't gonna let me hold her car.
I know, right? Ma acting up right now. She don't want to let me hold the car.
Yeah, she tripping. Ma gooking right now. She ain't gonna let me hold her car. The nerve of her.
Or better yet, I could borrow Ma's car, but you got gas money?
Right.
Oh man, that's too funny. I mean, it's crazy though. But you know what though? There are a lot of people out there that are living at home, and I can see if you living at home and you helping out and you're doing stuff. But come on, if you just mooching off your mom, come on, man.
Oh, you arguing with the lady about orange juice like you ain't got nothing going on, Steve. You don't have anything going on in life. Orange juice?
Because I mean, if you think about it, if you can't afford to go to Publix and buy a gallon of orange juice, I mean, come on, man. But that's all right. He'll get that orange juice that he won in Dade County Jail, though. I'll tell you that.
Turner Knight Guilford, they got a place for him, boy. And boy, them dudes don't play about child molesters and parent killers.
You know what I mean? That's all right. The house man over there is going to get him real good. But I tell you, these people.
What that Bible verse is, I posted on my page earlier on my podcast. They say, honor thy mother and thy father, where thy days shall be longer upon the earth. Man, listen, he done. Like, he is all the way done. You empty the clip in your mama?
What?
And ain't have nothing left for yourself.
You know what I'm saying? No, here's a crazy part. You
was that mad at your mama. Why you living there? And I'm quite sure that wasn't the first argument, Steve.
Nope. Because if it got to the point that she didn't want him to get orange juice or to use the remote, or she was tired of him. She was.
Of course. Yeah, she was being petty. But bro, that's your mama. Like, nigga, move on. Bro, move on.
That's all. That's it. Get a job.
30 years old.
But that's so crazy, man. It's like, and I don't
bro,
know.
You see him, Steve, you pull him up. He ain't no bad looking Spanish dude. You like, man, you could pull girls. You could get somebody. Bro, you over here hard down arguing with your mama. Now you got no bond.
No bond. So you know that means you're gonna be sitting in there for a long time. They're gonna take
the corona going on.
They're gonna take him over to Metro West, and that's gonna be it.
Bro, he ain't getting out no time soon. Like, nobody's getting out. Even the regular charges. Like, everybody's
they so backed up right now.
Bad time to go to jail.
You know, I'm trying to bring it up right now. Man, that's crazy though.
Yeah, Louis Martin Pages.
Louis Martin Pages?
Right. Horrible.
Huh?
I say he a horrible individual. You empty the clip on your mama about some orange juice and a car and a remote. Like, bruh, you ain't got nothing going on, bruh. Like, your life sucks.
For real.
Your life gotta suck if you killed your mama for that. Your life is horrible.
That's crazy. Yeah, I see it right here. That was a day ago.
Yeah, you got nothing to live for, bro. Like, orange juice, a car, and a remote control to turn up the AC to 60.
And they said that he was I'm actually gonna play the clip really quick. Hold on just a second. Let me find the clip. It's raining really bad over here too.
It was raining minutes ago. It slowed down now.
Yeah, it's storming over here. I don't know if you can hear the thunder and lightning and everything, but it's really terrible over here.
Yeah, that's him. His almost.
Yeah, he's PDK for real. Man.
Look like he work out and all. I'm like, come on, bro. Why you at your mama house? Why you harassing your mama? You calling this lady all kind of names about her orange juice.
They said the mother has been physically and verbally abused.
And pitying them. Right. Right. Yeah, you're right.
That's
Yeah, he
crazy.
could be one of the more privileged. Yeah.
That's crazy. The internet's
They
slow.
know him being a little better. Well, right.
The internet's acting up because it's raining over here right now, really, really, really bad.
Yeah, it won't let you play the videos or nothing. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's actually another DJ that's going to be coming up right after me, on the radio station. So I'm going to have to reach out to him a little bit later too, just to make sure, that everything is cool on the radio station. But yeah, man, but that's crazy though. I don't understand. For a person to do that to their mom is like,
That birth of your flesh and blood, bro.
you know,
Like,
what
this
I'm
ain't
saying?
no regular lady. This ain't no regular female on the streets. Like, this lady deserves the utmost. Even if you don't feel you owe her the utmost, but to kill her, like to empty a clip in this lady, like, God.
My whole thing is move out, dude. If you don't like it, move out. You know. And
Yeah.
you can't even say, well, I didn't want to go live with blah 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 whatever, because now look where you're living. You're living in a 5x9 with
We
five
ain't
other.
like where he living at now.
You know what I'm saying? And you got to get up when they tell you get up. You got to go to sleep when they tell you go to sleep.
They finna take advantage of you sexually.
Yep. They gonna be looking at him. They're gonna be looking at him going, he looking kind of good. And they can't you can't do nothing because there's gonna be like 6 of them holding them down over there.
Yeah, little Spanish fly.
Man, I tell you, this guy, I don't know, man. That's crazy.
That's his whole life up. Just that quick. For remote control, some orange juice in the car.
Yeah. But if any of you guys over in Europe or anywhere else, I keep forgetting that I'm on the radio too. If you guys want to jump in on the conversation, definitely hit me up on WhatsApp, 954-801-0429. Again, on WhatsApp, it's 954-801-0429. All right. And it's Steve, and I am here on Roundtable with Steve. And we have Gary McDonald on. He's the author of Pillar to Post and also of what's the other book? The New Man, Role Reversal. All right.
Hey.
So we definitely want to hear from you guys if there's anything that's going on, if there's anything you guys want to chat about before we go. Talk to me, man. Send me a message on 954-801-0429. Or you could just send it right in the chat if you're watching directly on YouTube or Facebook or any of the other platforms that we're on. All right. But there's a lot going on. I mean, I don't know. So tell me a little bit more about the podcast. How's things going with the podcast?
Yeah, I'm almost at I'm sliding up on 75,000 plays right now.
Wow.
It's doing really well. I get about 1,500 plays per episode. It's doing really well. My little brother, he moved up to Baltimore about a year, 2 years ago, and he got through, and he even gave me a shout out on he was talking to Angela Lee on Act G, and he was like, yeah, my brother Gary be calling it, like, yeah, we know Gary. So he gave me a shout out, and he was talking about my book. But yeah, that was hot. But everything going good, and I'm still writing. I finished my 3rd book, Unarmed, an alternate future, like I was telling you earlier when we first started. And it talks about the different characters, Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor. All of those people died in the timeline that they just died in, but I'm giving them a future. When the book first starts, it goes into the year 2032, and it talks about them being a part of the resistance group. Just like in the movie The Terminator, where Arnold Schwarzenegger came back from the future, and he came back to get rid of the people that was going to be a part of the resistance group. That's similar to my book. The police officers in my book are being controlled by a body transfer team that's killing these characters off in real life. But like I say, you guys have to stay tuned. It's gonna be very interesting. I'm almost finished, and it should be finished in probably about 2 weeks or so. Hopefully, it'll be finished. But everything is moving in the right direction. But I've been working on part 2 because they still keep killing us, Steve. So I started doing a second book already
You
with
need
the
to
new character.
put them into movies, man. Put them into like a short clip, you know?
And that's how I wrote it. It's like if you read it, if you read it, Steve, you would swear it was a movie.
But
it's a book.
That's something that you really should look into because I mean, seriously, the plot is good, the storyline is good, it's all really good, and we need to find a way that I mean, I think you could really do.
My fiance said it's so good. She been typing since she got off from school today, and she said she's tired of working right now. So, and you know her, Steve, like she's really tired. Her fingers are hurting. She's been working them to the bone, plus dealing with parents and teachers and students and. Yeah, so I'm glad I have a lot of help with my different endeavors.
What about something like the talk to type like Dragon Naturally Speaking or one of them where you just talk into it and it types it?
Oh, I have that, but it didn't keep up with me because of how I talk and plus my screen. So I had to keep going back in there editing it. So I said I'd rather just write it down and type it later or have my fiance type it up, but it didn't understand me, so I didn't want to deal with that.
All right.
It was too complicated. I had to keep stopping to tell the computer what I meant. I don't have time for that. I just want to just vibe and just flow. For real.
But I think I really could see your books going into movies, you know what I mean?
And as I'm writing them, I'm looking at them, and I let a few people peek at them, and everyone's interested. Everyone's really engaged into it, and they really like them. They like the storyline. They like the plot. They like everything about it. And again, it's different from the other books, Steve, that have been coming out over the years, where people have been doing just hood books and my baby daddy with his mistress, and I don't want to do all that stuff. Like I want to do like different stuff. I want to give people, even though it haven't caught on yet, I want to give people a bunch of different versions of me and a bunch of different books that they could see and be like, oh, he just ain't hood, he just ain't urban. Like the one I'm doing now, the Unarmed Terminated from the Future. It's a science fiction book, but it deals with real life events. But it's science fiction because it flip flop from the future to current time. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I want to do it different with that. And even the second part is not just black people getting killed. In the second book, it's white people too. If you've been knowing what's been going on out of Kenosha, that guy Kyle Littenhouse killed 2 white people and injured one another white guy. And then the other guy that shot the Trump protester, he fled back to his state and had a shootout with the U.S. Marshals and he died. But it's like a series of events been happening with not just black people, but white people that's on the front lines, or white people that are protesting, or white people that are defending the country per se. In their eyes, they're a part of militia groups, Antifa or whatever. And in their eyes, they're defending the country, just like they patrol the borders and they lock up illegal immigrants and things of that nature. This is different from that. But
yeah,
go ahead.
No, I'm saying they shoot a lot of the people trying to come across the border, which is another thing too. It's but a lot of times what they do is these are just militia groups.
Right.
So I got a guy from Europe that just sent a message, and he said it's fantastic to know that a young black man has a good woman who's supportive and is backing him.
Yeah, that's necessary. It's vital. It's definitely vital for a black man to have support. And it's not even the color, but if it's a black woman, like like we need that. And in the past, a lot of our women, they have taken on the roles, like I mentioned in this book, they taken on a role as the man. So the men aren't the man in relationships, the women running the relationship. So for you to actually get a female that'll back you up and that'll work with you, that love you unconditionally, regardless of your faults and flaws, and still back you up and want to see the best for you, man, you better ride with her. You got to. It's crazy for you not to. And we was having that discussion earlier about Dr. Dre. His old lady want $2 million a month. Bruh, she been riding with you, Steve, from the 90s. From the 90s, Steve. Ain't no telling what all money this lady done put up for him. You know how we all, dog. Those women be put up a lot for us, bruh. They put up a lot for us.
I'm gonna tell you, if she was riding with me from the beginning, dude, it's not even a question.
That's why I say she get half. Boy, she asking for is minimal. She get half in my eyes. Somebody that's been riding with you that long from NWA days, you get half, bro. No questions.
She right off the bat, she's getting half of everything, and not only she's gonna get half of everything, but I'm still gonna give her a small percentage of the business. I'm gonna give her half of what we have now, and then give her half of the business because she business.
Jeff Bezos did with Amazon. He gave his wife half the bread, and she still own all her shares.
That's what you should do. You give her half and give her half the business. Because honestly, I mean, she came up with Dre when Dre had nothing. And if the movies that they showed, of how he used to beat Michelle and all them, she went through a whole lot with Dre too.
Right.
Yeah, and she went through all that with Dre. Yeah, Dre, give the woman her money. Give the woman her money. It's crazy. Give her the
and everybody weighing in, and they like, oh man, that's too much, because she want $900,000 for entertainment. She want 100 and stuff. I mean, but Steve, this girl been riding with this man since the 90s, since the late 80s, or however long.
She shouldn't have to listen. She shouldn't have to itemize anything. Just give the woman half the money.
And again, Dre not saying this. The people. He not saying this. I'm quite sure he good with whatever she asking for. But it's just people, Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat. This is not Dr. Dre saying this. This people saying it.
People who don't have anything because they don't, and that's the thing too. That's another thing that people don't realize. When you have a stingy mentality and a stingy way of being, you don't get anything. When you give, but when you want to hold on to it and you just want to be stingy about it, God's gonna take it from you. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at Suge Knight. I mean, seriously, you know what I mean? They all did their dirt, but Suge Knight, God took it away because he wanted everything for himself. You know,
and he running people over in the daytime.
You know what I'm saying?
That? Broad daylight with cameras everywhere.
You know what I mean? Man,
you gotta go to tonight. You messed the church money up. You gotta
go. Yeah, man. I tell you, it's crazy.
Man, he dropped the ball.
We got like another 13 minutes before we jump off. The next guy coming up on the radio station on 246 Bejamvar Radio is actually from Barbados. Let me see who's that's gonna be coming up next.
Y'all can cop this everywhere.
Yep, check out. I'm telling you. And you can always if you can get them on Amazon, you can get them everywhere, but you can also go right here, lunchtimetalkwithsteve.com, and you can get them right from there. All right. They're right on my page. So Ricky C is coming up after me. So he's gonna be coming from Barbados in just a little bit. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give him a call in a little bit to see what what he has going on. Let me see. All right. So Gary, so we definitely got to do this again, though. I enjoy the conversation. I definitely enjoy it. I think I have a spot on tomorrow again, and I think I have a spot on tomorrow again. The same time, 7 to 10 Eastern time, which you guys could put it for whatever time you.
Who would have thought I would have been holding up 2 books in front of you, like right now, like holding up 2 books, bro. This was never my dream. I was working. I've been selling health insurance for years. They did me dirty in the industry, but I ain't stopped. And look, Steve.
I see.
Yeah, doing numbers, doing good. Still got to keep pushing forward. My life, my stories. Hey.
See, that's Pillar to Post, a felon story, and then you have Role Reversal. So those are Gary's 2 books. Check them out. Go on lunchtimetalkwithsteve.com and you can purchase the 2 books directly from there. All right. So Gary, thanks very much. I appreciate it, buddy. I mean, it's always good having a conversation with you. All right.
Yes, sir. I'm sitting there working on this other one. It's almost finished.
I tell you, man.
In there, Steve. In there. I'm almost done.
You do a lot of writing.
Yeah, bro. I be feeling it. I do all this at work while I'm waiting on phone calls.
Hey, don't say that too loud. Your boss is like, "Oh, that's what I'm paying you for."
Oh nah, my boss them cool. They know what it is. I told them when I blow up. I told them they gonna be on one of them documentaries with me for letting me get my little time in at work while I'm waiting in between calls. They be over there shouting me out and Gary, what you writing on now? What you working on now? Yeah, they support it. They support it.
All right, so G-Mac, we're gonna talk though. We'll chat and see. And if you want to be on with me again tomorrow, then I definitely welcome it. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, Steve. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the audience. Everybody in Canada, the UK, Africa, wherever y'all at. Y'all follow me on my podcast, Convicted Conversations. Y'all can get both of these books right now on Amazon. Pillar to Post you can get on Barnes and Noble too, but the new man is specifically on exclusively on Amazon. But you can check both of these out, man. Get them. Check out my podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, each and every week, talking about different topics. And like I say, man, spread the word, share, download, and get these books. Please get these books. Hey.
All right, G-Mac, I'll talk to you later, man. You
All
have
right,
a good
Steve.
All right.
Have me, sir.